Hi, welcome back to the Make a Baby podcast. I'm Carolina Sotomayor, your podcast host and Reiki womb healer. And I want to talk about what does your childhood have to do with your fertility? I recently had a conversation, let's call her client H. And this person is new to my world. And we got into what was your childhood like? Tell me about your parents. Tell me about your menstruation. Talk to me about your cycle. Talk to me about your partner. Talk to me about your dream for motherhood. And as she was explaining her connections and her dynamics with her family, with her partner, with herself, there was one theme: control and abandonment. That she needed to have control of her relationship, of her time, of her everything. And she said, "My partner calls me controlling." And he said, "That makes sense." And she goes, "Wow, you're not even like phased by that." I was like, why wouldn't you want to have control of every single person in your line of family, siblings, mother, father, even partners, past partners, have all abandoned you in some way? And she goes, "What do you mean?" They didn't run away. They're still here. They didn't leave me behind. Emotional abandonment, meaning like emotional neglect, that they are not fully present and not fully showing up and meeting your needs, whether that was when you're 5, 6, or 7 and you didn't get enough hugs or enough I love yous, or there's also physical abandonment if like somebody goes to jail or they die and they're no longer here. But in this case, everyone was still present in her life, but they were not emotionally available. Or if they were emotionally available, it was hostile, it was volatile, it was conditional if it was with praise. And I said, think about it. As growing up, the emotions that were available to you were often very fierce, very heavy, very angry, and chaotic. And that became your normal. So you learned that you could only rely on yourself if you did want something good, something reliable was only going to come from yourself. So you became hyper independent because you didn't want to be let down. But with the current partner that this person is with, like they are not around much. They don't prioritize me. They don't say I love you like they used to in the beginning. They've been years together. And I have permission to share this story in this case study. And I said, the reason why most people will choose a partner that is not emotionally available or doesn't have emotional capacity to hold space for you and all of your dreams and things like that, because it's predictable. It's what your nervous system can handle. Your nervous system is so important. It is deeply wired to your womb. So if we don't feel safe to receive a baby, we can't conceive. And if we're not asking for help or have building our community or our network to have deep conversations with people who are emotionally safe or emotionally available, we need to rethink our vision of motherhood. We need to rethink the next version of a reality that we are casting, because you deserve to be around people who receive you. You deserve to receive yourself and create that reality where you're just not putting yourself last, that you're not abandoning yourself. Because when we stop abandoning ourselves, we start instilling safety and we become sovereign. And what that means is we call back our power. We are a whole person and we're living for ourselves when we choose ourselves, when we choose safety for ourselves, and we choose to feel our emotions. And it's hard sometimes to start over. In this case, be a black sheep of the family. Maybe the new habits you're developing are not reciprocated or shown around you. Maybe you're the pioneer of your family, where you are the first one to be an emotionally developed person. Maybe you are changing the entire family tree. Maybe you are the person that has to say, hey, I learned new communication styles. Hey, I learned a new way to parent. Hey, I'm changing my life. I am breaking and ending trauma because when I have a baby, it's going to be different and they deserve more. I deserve more and I want more. You don't need to work harder for it. You don't need to prove that you deserve it. Your existence, your breath, your body, life force energy is enough. So if you are doing things that have never been done in your family before, if you are doing things and speaking things and loving a different way, I'm proud of you. I did things that no one else did in my family. I do not abuse my son. I breastfed for 4 years. I graduated college. I chose a healthy person. My uncle said when I married my husband, "You're going to have a very boring life." I said, "Then it is going to be the best boring life anyone's ever lived." I guarantee you my life is not boring, but I did things and I dared to be different. And so can you, because I deserved more. But I made decisions that for things that I wanted with me at the center. And I want to encourage you. So when we grow up with parents, with mothers and fathers who do not meet our emotional needs, we tend to not feel emotionally safe. And then we expect very little in return. And then we grow up and we expect that very little from partners, very little from friends. And slowly, sometimes over time, we start to ask for more. But in client H, they didn't. Asking for the bare minimum. And even then, not receiving it. And then, like, well, I asked, I didn't get it. So I'm just going to do it by myself and accept that they're still going to exist in this house. And we're going to make a baby eventually. Or if it happens, great, but I still really want a baby, but they're not on board. We're going to call all of your power back in this moment. And go ahead, close your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose, allowing that breath to go over your head and down your spine into your womb for a count of 2, 3, 4, and exhale. Breath number 2, breathing in through your nose. Allow that to go over your head, down your spine, into your womb for a count of 2, 3, 4, and exhale. 2, 3, 4. One more time, breathing in through your nose, allowing that to go over your head, down your spine, into your womb for a count of 2, 3, 4, and exhale. 2, 3, 4. I call all of my energy, my power, my emotions back to me. Anyone or anything that took my energy without me knowing must return it now, and I cut cords. I am a sovereign being. My womb is sovereign and embodied and powerful. I am fertile, creative, and safe. I am safe to receive, safe to feel, safe to express my needs and emotions, and I receive myself fully. And so it is. We are no longer going to abandon ourselves. You wouldn't abandon your baby. You wouldn't abandon your child. So you're not going to abandon yourself anymore. So how your parents met your emotional needs when you were younger definitely affects your fertility, because that becomes your nervous system's normal, your baseline. And if abandonment is your baseline, then your womb probably has hormonal issues, lack of a period, probably be told everything is fine, but not be able to hold on to a pregnancy or not be able to successfully implant, maybe getting pregnant once or twice and unfortunately losing those pregnancies, but not being pregnant again. Those are all signs that our wombs are closed, that they're blocked. And we have to restore safety. We have to restore emotional safety to our bodies so our wombs open up so that they feel safe enough to receive the soul of our baby. I love this work. It's not easy work, but it does change lives. It's changed my life. And my whole purpose is this, is to help you heal the emotional blockages in your womb. And the reason why I choose to work with fertility is that in my experience, it all erupted in my postpartum. And after deep reflection is the more that we can heal up front before we get pregnant, the easier it will be to get pregnant, to stay pregnant, give birth, and go into postpartum. All of that unburdened, uncomplicated, and gives you the best chance to enjoy those 4 phases of motherhood, because you do deserve joy. And the more that we can see and heal these things up front, the easier those phases will be. If you're wanting to work together and this sounds like the work that you want to do in order to conceive, go ahead and you can book a call, or you can join our program called She Receives. We start March 18th and you're invited. I would love to have you. And I'm so excited to have this new program that I've downloaded. I channeled this last fall. And we are going to identify all of the areas that you are resisting in your life. And resistance is the opposite of receiving. And we are going to go deep into what it means to receive and master the art of receiving and connecting to our spirit babies and casting that vision for motherhood. I'm so excited to receive you into She Receives. Until next time, my friends, let the Reiki flow.